If you end up inadvertently doing something in your practice that would have you non-compliant with your PPO plan, the ultimate risk could be the loss of your license. I am not suggesting in any way, shape, or form you should skirt those rules in the contract. I'm not suggesting that. And the reason I'm not suggesting we bend the rules is the stakes are too high. If you end up inadvertently doing something in your practice that would have you non-compliant with your PPO plan, the ultimate risk could be the loss of your license. The loss. Now that is extreme, but Naren, have you ever heard the saying, if it's been done before, it must be possible?
Yes.
And that's very true in this case. There have been dentists that have lost their license because of unfortunate situations that happen relative to compliance with their contracts.
Can we get into that, Gary? Because I think just to understand the kind of things they have to watch out for and pay attention to.
Well, let's get into some details. And by the way, we want to post a resource for you on this. Many of you that listen to the Less Insurance Dependence podcast also listen to the Thriving Dentist Show. But if you're new, if you don't know about the Thriving Dentist Show, that's our flagship podcast. Naren, would you ask the team to post a link? It'll be a link in the show notes. That is an interview I did with Dr. Roy Shelburne. And you need to hear Roy's story. Because, and I have his permission to tell what I'm about to tell. Roy was convicted of fraud in his practice and served prison time. And I'll just leave it at that. And now Roy's very transparent. I have permission to say what I just said. He's a friend. He's a wonderful friend. And you need to hear Roy's story.
And it's because, again, my understanding, I spoke to Roy about this as well. Like, you cannot say, well, somebody in my team did it, I didn't know. That's not something that flies.
Ignorance is no defense.
Mm-hmm.
Roy will give you the details in that podcast episode, so I won't. I don't want to share those outside the podcast episode.
Yeah.
But there was some fraud, unintentionally committed in his practice. Unintentional. It was
Right.
very, very, very minor. Roy was made an example of by our legal system, and that's sometimes what they do. And he served prison time. And I want you to listen to this. So here's what I'm talking about. If you are a member, a contracted member of a PPO plan, that PPO plan has the right to come into your practice and audit your records.
Has that happened in your experience with your clients?
Absolutely. I've seen it happen many times among my clients.